Here on Lefebvre Street in Cornwall, Ontario. Mr. Kyer, you were coming out of your car into your car, and you had a disturbing incident happen a couple nights ago around 7:30.
Yes, I did. I was just getting into my car.
And what happened?
A transport was coming up the street, and he was coming quite fast, and he hit a couple of the power lines, but when he got to mine, it got caught in the upper part of his transport and tore it right out, and it also ripped out of the side of my house, breaking quite a bit, causing a lot of damage to my porch, or my deck, I'm sorry, and the wiring in the house.
Did the wire actually hit the ground?
No, it was about 4 feet from it.
Well, that must have been pretty frightening, because it's a live electrical wire, right?
Well, I was lucky I was sitting in my car when it happened.
And you folks are his neighbors, right?
Yes.
V and JP?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you guys see or hear? Like, what happened to you?
Well, we were actually watching TV, and the entire apartment shook, and we heard a loud noise, which isn't typical for this area. So we, of course, looked out the window to see what was going on. And when we did, we noticed that the transport had passed already, and that our wires were even lower than normal, and the wire from Mr. Kyer's house was actually down.
So the Minimax truck didn't stop?
No. Oh no.
But you guys saw that it was a Minimax truck?
Absolutely.
And other neighbors as well, like just across the street from me, they saw it as well, and they tried to flag him down to stop. He would not stop, and then one of them followed him in their car to get his license number off of the transport.
So what happens at that point?
Right now, it's all at that point.
No, at that point, what happens? Like, this all happens, you're standing in your driveway, there's this wire hanging.
The kid came back, to give you the information.
Yes.
Yeah, of the plate.
But do you call the police, the fire department?
Right away, I went in and called the fire department because I was afraid of fire because the sparks were unbelievable.
Wow.
Yes, so that's why I called right away, and they came.
Okay.
They blocked off.
They blocked off the half the street at both ends.
Okay. And then you had the Cornwall Hydro people show up?
Then they come up and made sure the wire was dead. They killed it because it was still alive at that point.
Okay.
They killed it, and then of course they disconnected me, and I was 17 hours before I was able to get power put back on.
Why so long?
It was most the electricians were quite busy at the time with backload, and anyways, I was able to get one.
You had to get your own electrician. Cornwall Hydro doesn't reconnect it?
Obviously not.
Okay.
No, they only connect, I believe, from the road to the house.
Okay.
But the damage was done mostly, to the line, naturally, and to my house.
Do you know if they replaced line, or did they just rehook it back up?
I don't know if I think they did repair to it.
Okay.
But I can't say. You'd have to ask them. They would probably. I'm not sure if they changed or not, because I was kind of in a state of not too good.
Did I understand you were given a bill for this?
I have an estimate right now for the damage to the house, and I am going to be billed close to probably in the neighborhood of $15,000 to $2,000.
What is that for?
It's for the electrical work, and they had to replace a lot.
Okay.
A lot of material, I should say.
Why did they have to replace stuff? Like, what did they have to fix?
It was damaged beyond repair.
Okay. So, was it the way it looks like right now? Because right now it looks nice.
Now it's all back. It's all fixed. Otherwise, I'd still be in the darkness.
No, but before the incident happened, does it look like it was, or was it hanging down already, or?
Oh, no. That's the way it looked before the accident.
Okay, so...
They've reinstated it, but with a new pipe going up my wall, as you can see.
So they put it to the exact same spot it was?
Yeah, they put it to the exact same spot.
Because I see a little hole underneath where it is now. So was it attached to the house a little lower?
Yes, there's a bracket that still has to be added or something.
Okay.
But that's work that's going to be done by a contractor. Okay. Everybody has, and I had to have a new meter put in as well.
Why did you have to have a new meter?
Because when the accident happened, the shortage from the power line shorted out, destroyed the meter.
Yeah. And you lent in some freezer space also?
We came over. My husband actually came over at. It would have been 10:30 that night. After our neighbors underneath us had alerted us that he may lose his meat, so we just offered him some space in our freezer to not lose all his food.
Did you guys have any damage to your place?
Not that we're aware of. All we saw was that it shook the wire, but they're definitely higher now than they were.
Okay.
Both lines are higher than they were.
When the truck went by, all I could see was the top like 6 inches of the trailer, and I saw it whack our lines, and they went crazy. But they got hit and they went up out of the way, as opposed to his getting caught.
I wasn't that fortunate.
Now, this is a narrow residential street. Is it common for big transport trucks to be zooming up here?
No.
I've lived here since April, and we've never seen a transport truck
I've been
come
here
up
51 years, and I can count on my hand how many transports I've
Because
seen.
this seems like a nice, quiet residential neighborhood.
It is.
You're right near the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Till
So, so have you spoken to Minimax yet?
they came themselves to see me. A manager
Uh-huh.
came and talked to me, and everything now, as I say, is laying dormant.
And what did the police say?
The police are following up because the officer that was investigating with myself and along with them, they weren't exactly pleased with the progress, so he's changing the officer that's going to continue the investigation.
Do you know which officer's investigating?
No, I don't know yet
Okay.
because they haven't assigned it yet.
Okay. Were you guys happy with the way it was all handled?
I'm personally not. I wasn't outside while the electric company or the electricians were here to fix his wires. I watched out my own window, and I do know for sure that they've done something to our wires well, because they were nowhere near that low. However, the fireman that was here that evening, right when it happened, they had a truck up here and they had a truck at the end, and so there was a fireman down with that truck, and then him that stood up here with Mr. Kyer. He came over to us, and at that time I wasn't actually leaving the premises, but I was going to be shortly. And our neighbors underneath me had two friends over, and one of the young guys had asked the fireman why their transports are allowed up here in the first place. So speed aside, everything, he was wondering why they were even allowed up here, why there wasn't signs, etc. The fireman responded to, he gets calls of this nature every month in this area. So Donnie, Lefebvre, Gardner, I believe he said, and there was another street and I can't remember, I apologize. And so monthly, he quoted that they get these calls regarding down lines from trucks going through because the lines are too low. So at that point, the young lad said to him, well then why are the city, why isn't there signs saying that they're too low for the trucks to come down? And he said, well, they're going to be replaced in 4 to 5 years, according to the city, so they're not going to waste time to sign them, sign the streets.
And then, meanwhile, Mr. Kyer, you just got a bill.
I got an assessment, and I'm going to get they couldn't do it because there's so much to be done to it. They're going to send it to me.
But you have power now.
Yes, 17 hours later.
Who do you think should pay for the damages to your property?
I don't think I should pay. That's my concern.
Right.
And they don't seem to know if the transport company has to pay or the city, the lake company has to pay for the lines being too low or the transport hitting them. That hasn't been decided, but in the meantime, I'm getting the bills and I'm going to expect it to pay it when it comes in.
And our last question, was the wire and the pipe at your roof where the electricity is connected in good condition?
They seem to be.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be fine.
Because according to Cornwall Electric, the homeowner is responsible for the connection to the house.
Yes, definitely.
So if, for instance, if your wire was loose and hanging down low, causing it to be low over the road, then it potentially could be your fault.
Only at the house.
Right.
Anything off the property, property stops at the sidewalk.
Right.
It's their responsibility.
All right.
So in essence, a transport truck hitting a wire that's too low over the road should never be a homeowner's responsibility.
Well,
because we can't, how do you prevent that?
it'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
And I'm getting
It's not like he can personally control where it's connected to the house.
Right.
and I'm getting the runaround. You know, I can't get an answer of, okay, I did it or I didn't do it, or
Right.
they did it and they didn't do it. It's just, right now it's your baby, and when the bill comes in, it's going to be in my name, neither
Yeah.
one of theirs.
Yeah, when I spoke to Minimax this morning, they still didn't have an answer as to who the driver was and
Yeah, well,
any of the details.
I'm sure they must know how many trucks do they have running up and down LaFay Street. And apparently this driver has a lady friend right on this street. That's why he was here, and he shouldn't have been here.
Gotcha.
But I have at least 8 to 10 witnesses on both sides of the street that's seen him as well as I do.
And
Or-
speed was definitely a factor as well. He was going way too fast down the street.
If he wouldn't have been going so fast, he would have just touched the line, but he was going so that his transport, the front part, or the cat part, was lifted,
Right.
and that's what it caught.
All right. Well, we'll
And
follow up.
trust me, it lit up like the 4th of July here on my property.
We'll follow up, and hopefully someone will take care of the damages to your home.
Thanks for
hope so.
stopping in.